Namo Amida Bud. So, welcome. Thanks so much for joining in. Is Pureland Buddhism escapist? I saw this question on a forum and I love it. I love it. I love it because I've had that thought many, many times that it is a very escapist philosophy and spiritual path. And I've come to realize that that really isn't true. It is true on a certain level, and that is that the all forms of Buddhism, I mean, in their original form, all forms of Buddhism are can be labeled a form of escapism because, the Buddha's diagnosis is that we're all suffering from an illness, um, which he called tanha. Can be translated many ways: selfishness, self-centeredness, self-centered desire, craving, and that this tanha keeps us stuck on the cycles of rebirth. And the medicine he prescribed is to liberate us from this cycles of rebirth. So in that sense, all Buddhism aims to, Kirk to enterprise, Kirk to Buddha, one to beam up, does seek to end. It doesn't seek to end this life. Like, it's not a suicidal path, like, okay, I'm going to kill myself and get out of this world. But it is literally, um, escape isn't quite the word, but it is an attempt to liberate us. It's a path of liberating us from the prison of samsara, of cyclical incarnation. So in that sense, it is escapist. But usually, what people mean by escapist mean, does it, cut us off from this life? And that's going to really depend on each person and how they apply it. In and of itself, no, no, Pure Land Buddhism is not escapist at all. Um, Someone can certainly apply it that way and can certainly be like, well, the only thing that matters is um, is liberation, is Buddhahood. So forget all of this, and in an unbalanced way, sort of deny the world, and deny their life and live in an unhealthy, unbalanced way. But that's not inherent in Pure Land Buddhism by any means. And I would argue the contrary, that if, as we lose attachment to things and as we remove all this excess energy, because, without the Dharma, what we're doing is basically walking around seeking happiness in all these things which can't provide us with happiness. So there's a lot of tension because we're constantly seeking, and some part of us knows that nothing is going to actually work. Nothing in terms of seeking outside of ourselves, that is. So as that tendency decreases, as we go deeper and deeper into Buddhism in general, but specifically Pure Land Buddhism, um, really hammers home that the only thing that matters is being reborn in the Pure Land. So as all that energy gets withdrawn from seeking people, places, and things to make us happy, um, it doesn't mean that everyone's going to become a monk and a hermit. It doesn't mean that people are going to start hating the world, but it is definitely a different relationship with the world and with bodily existence. And someone who's really practicing Buddhism, or specifically Pure Land Buddhism, yeah, is probably not going to buy as many things and probably not going to party as hard. And there certainly will be probably some withdrawing from, uh, pulling back of one's energy from the world, but it only, it'd be only really a character imbalance in the person that could turn it into a form of escapism. That's not inherent. Inherent in Pure Land Buddhism is to go about your life. Pure Land Buddhism was created in contrast to the monastic traditions, which very much are, in a literal sense, an escape from the world. Whereas Pure Land Buddhism was literally, especially as promoted by Shinrin and Honen, very much for the common people. Very much something that a form of Buddhism that people could practice and live as they went about their lives. Um, it is not a monastic tradition by any sense of the word. Yeah. Love the question. Thanks so much. Feedback, questions, comments, welcome.